Good morning, good afternoon. So for the final speech, we're supposed to talk about the four videos that we saw, and I don't know about anyone else, but I go to TED Talks, and that's what I write my journal about. So this time we had to watch four TED Talks, four speeches, and there's a lot to observe and there's a lot to say. For the most part, all of them, all of the four speakers, and all had different topics, all came from different backgrounds. They were very confident, they were very vocal, they were loud, they stayed calm, nobody was nervous. And they did a really good job balancing being informative and entertaining at the same time. All of them utilize humor, and two of them also utilize visual aids in the form of like a PowerPoint or a slideshow in the background, to really emphasize their points, which was really helpful. And it honestly made watching them a lot more interesting because at that point, you're not just watching a person, go back and forth or stay in the same place and talk about what they're talking about. You have some visual stimulation, and not only that, but like I said before, it really emphasizes the points that they're making. Um, Probably the most interesting one that I was watching that I really enjoyed was the woman was talking about why, like, dating and why we keep going after very toxic people and what the process behind that is all about. I think she had a PhD in some sociology, some social science, and she really did a good job of balancing humor and seriousness. And she was one of those people who also had the visual aid. And back to the styles of the presenters. Another thing to note was how they were dressed. None They weren't dressed casually. They were dressed very professionally, which I think when you're making either a very informative speech or a very entertaining speech, or you have a lot of very important points to make, your physical appearance makes a big difference. And like, for example, if the one of the speakers was talking about personality types and what your behavior says about your personality type and why certain personality types act a certain way. Um, if he was to walk in wearing, say, gym shorts or something and a t-shirt, nobody would really take him seriously. You wouldn't look at him and think to yourself, that is a professor who knows what he's talking about. You would be like, well, what is that? Like, why am I paying attention to this? But he walked in wearing a blazer, um, professional pants, like very professionally looking. And that, yeah, automatically, that visual image automatically makes you take somebody a lot more seriously, rather than somebody who's dressed casually but claiming to be whatever they're claiming to be. So that's another thing to take away. Um, but yeah, overall, very informative. I learned a lot. They were about like 7 minutes long each. Some were shorter on average, but definitely learned a lot. Not only about what they were talking about, but how to present in a way that really makes people pay attention. Because from my knowledge, um, people who present on TED Talk, they're pretty much professional speakers. They're like the best. So definitely a good source to learn from. And not only just to look at and make points for yourself for your next speech, but just honestly, it's such a good platform to learn a lot of information, anything you're interested in. So if anybody hasn't, for some reason, I don't think anybody doesn't know TED Talk, but if you don't know TED Talk, definitely check it out. It's one of my favorites. Thank you.